I'm really glad a lot of you guys asked me to talk about this because the curse mark is like really cool. I can't wait, so let's get started. So first things first, think of this video as an extension of the Sage Mode video, since in this video I'm going to be talking a lot about natural energy. Some of you might be asking what the curse mark has to do with natural energy, and the curse mark has everything to do with the concept. When the curse mark was first introduced way back in chapter 49 of the manga, nothing was really known about it other than the fact that it powers a person up. As the series went on, we eventually got more and more information until it was explained that the curse mark originated from a lovely guy by the name of Jugo. Jugo came from a clan with the innate ability to passively absorb natural energy into their bodies, and this natural energy would also cause physical alterations and enhance their physical abilities. Orochimaru saw the promise in this ability, and almost immediately after learning about it, began studying it to see if he could distribute it to multiple people. Though Orochimaru never learned how to perfectly control Sage Mode, he did have quite a bit of knowledge on the ability because of his training at Ryuchi Cave. I assume this knowledge helped him out quite a bit when developing the curse mark because of how heavily it relies on natural energy, but that's just a side note, it's not really important. Anyhow, as is the case with many of Orochimaru's experiments, the curse seal is very volatile and incomplete. Not only is there a 90% death rate among those who receive it, but additionally, upon first receiving it, those who do survive the process can't control it for quite some time. Orochimaru has found a way to get around many of the negative aspects of the curse mark in the form of the mind awakening pills, but even after taking these pills, the curse mark still retains many risks and many fatal consequences for overuse. I'll get into that in a bit though. First, let's talk about the purpose and acquisition of the curse mark. The only way to receive a curse mark is from Orochimaru himself. A curse seal will be placed on a particular spot on a person's body after Orochimaru bites them there. The marking will form immediately, and the curse seal will initially cause some pain and stress. While at face value the purpose of the curse mark seems to be to power somebody up, that really isn't what it was created for. Not only can Orochimaru preserve his own being inside of a curse mark, but additionally those who receive the curse mark tend to be very vulnerable to falling under Orochimaru's control. This control comes in various different forms, and can be either direct or indirect, but regardless, Orochimaru will never give somebody a curse mark as a gift. There is always a reason for it. Now that said, it's not like the curse mark is a bad thing. It is a very effective power-up, and it is the fact that it's a very effective power-up that generally causes people to fall under Orochimaru's control after they receive it. Sasuke was so satisfied with the power the curse mark gave him that it caused him to seek out Orochimaru for training. Then again, that's not really much of a surprise considering how reliant the curse mark is on Senjutsu. It's also worth noting that the power Sasuke experienced was only the power of the first stage of the curse mark, which brings me to its next aspect. The extent to which a curse seal powers the body up can be controlled by its user once they've been exposed to it long enough, but even if they don't have full control over the curse mark, the power provided by it still tends to vary. As I mentioned earlier, prior to leaving the Hidden Leaf Village, Sasuke only had access to the first stage of the curse mark. This primary stage is the only stage a curse mark user will have access to after initially receiving it, but nonetheless it's still very powerful. While a user of the curse mark can push it to a second stage, they can still control the power provided by the first stage to some extent. As you can see, when a person accesses the primary stage of the curse mark, the design of their curse seal will spread across their body. The extent at which this seal spreads across their body is directly proportional to how much the curse mark powers them up in this stage. And as I've been implying, a person using the curse mark can control just how far this seal spreads, which thereby means they can control just how much it powers them up. In the curse mark's primary stage, the changes made to a person's physical appearance are very minor, at least when compared to the changes made in the second stage of the curse mark. One thing worth noting is that the pattern that spreads across a person's body varies depending on which curse seal they receive. Sasuke, Kimimaro, and each of the Sound Four all have a different pattern across each of them, and it's also implied that each curse seal provides a different amount of power as well. When a person enters the second stage of the curse mark, the influence of Jugo's abilities become a lot more apparent. The physical changes made by the curse mark's second stage make a person almost unrecognizable, changing their skin color, hair color, eye color, and sometimes even adding extra appendages like wings or horns. The second stage of the curse mark provides no extra abilities, with the exception of Sasuke, who gained the ability to fly thanks to his wings, but as you'd expect, it does make a person a lot stronger than the curse mark's first stage does. Jirobo says that the second stage of the curse mark makes a person 10 times more powerful than they normally are, and it's important to consider that Sasuke and Kimimaro both received stronger curse seals than Jirobo did when taking this into account. Now, despite how awesome the curse mark may be, it's not the most stable thing in the world. There are a lot of problems with the curse mark. The first of these problems is that most of the time a recipient of the curse mark can't control when it is active. The only reason Sasuke is able to control when his curse mark is active is because Kakashi went through the trouble of performing a sealing procedure on it. On top of that, most people can't reach the curse mark's second stage naturally, and as a result, they have to take the Mind Awakening pills that I mentioned at the beginning of the video to do so. The thing about these pills is that one of the side effects of taking them is death. And as a result, most people who take these pills have to be placed in a near-death state by Orochimaru's henchmen, and they tend to stay in this near-death state for a while until their body fully acclimates to the heightened transformation provided by these pills. Another problem with the curse mark is that extended use of it tends to corrode the user's mind, which makes them even more susceptible to Orochimaru's influence than they otherwise would have been. On top of that, the curse mark also requires chakra as a power source, meaning that a user of it has to constantly feed their own chakra into the curse mark. This is offset by the fact that the curse mark constantly provides a person with Orochimaru's own senjutsu chakra, but this still makes the curse mark a huge strain on a person's stamina. Simply being in the second stage of the curse mark for too long can cause a person to eat through all of their chakra and die, which sounds like a pretty shitty side effect to me. Nonetheless, I still think the curse mark is really cool. I think that's where I'm gonna end this off, since I've kind of covered everything important about the curse mark, but if you have any questions about it, feel free to ask me in the comments below. And as always, leave any video ideas that you have for me in the comments below, and if I like the idea enough, I'll make sure to get to it in the near future. Thank you for watching the video all the way to the end. If you're new here, maybe leave a like on the video and subscribe to see when I upload new stuff, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Talk to you guys later. Swagkage out. Bye.